What's up, everyone? It is your girl GLPD87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into another underrated versus overrated. So in today's underrated versus overrated, I don't have that much to talk about. I have one more palette I was gonna wait to get mailed to me, but I was like, it's one palette, we can just throw it in the next video. It's not that big a deal. I just ordered it recently. I want to compare it to another one, so I might just do old school versus new school with it, and then add it in an underrated versus overrated once I tried it. Because just looking at it, they look similar, but it's like I want to try it and feel it out and be sure. So that's why I went ahead and just film this one now, while I have all these other things that I could inform you about. So first, overrated versus underrated, or underrated versus overrated. I have the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer Hydrating Primer. Y'all know they've changed this like 3 or 4 times. This is supposed to have triple hyaluronic acid and silk screen complex. I have this Essence Hello Good Stuff Primer Serum Hydrating and Plump with Blueberry and Squalene. Now, shout out to Andrea Montanalo. That's how I found out about this dude, because I was looking at this primer and I was intrigued because it's supposed to be a primer serum, and I like stuff like that. But when she said it was supposed to be really similar and a good alternative to the primerizer that they had gotten rid of and like replaced in different packaging or whatever, I was like, I'm intrigued. So as you can see, I have this little bitty sample. I think I ended up getting from Sephora, because I was like, I want to try out the new one that they came out with to see if it's similar to the other one. And like she said, it is, and this is as well. But y'all know Essence is way more affordable, and obviously you get more product in this. But in all fairness, this is, you know, a sample size from Sephora. But I feel like they do the same thing and they feel the same on the skin. Y'all actually have a battle of the primers and blushes and some other stuff coming up for you all in the video. Matter of fact, I should have put this in the underrated versus the other thing in the underrated versus overrated, but since they're around the same price, I feel like it wasn't a need to. It's another thing you'll see in the video I'm talking about, or you will have already seen that video by time you see this. But yeah, I definitely think this is overrated for what it is, especially when you can get this at a reasonable price. So I would definitely say if you can get your hands on the Essence one, just go ahead and get that instead. The only thing is it has an overpowering smell of blueberry. So if you don't necessarily like the blueberry smell, just think of like if Too Faced had a blueberry palette, that's the smell it's giving. So just keep that in mind. But otherwise, if you don't mind, girl, go ahead and get it. Next, underrated versus overrated, we have another primer from Essence. So we have the Milk, what is this? Pore Eclipse Matte Mattifying Primer up against this Essence Poreless Partner Primer Mattifying and Blurring with Niacinamide. So I'm noticing how all these brands are putting skincare ingredients into their primers, which I'm here for. I'm loving it. I love though when the skincare brand comes out with a primer, because I feel like it's a guaranteed hit thing for me, and I love it. But these two are pretty much exactly the same. I don't feel like one is more, I feel like this one might actually be a little more mattifying than this one, and this one costs you more. So as you can see, I bought the travel size because I keep telling y'all, after that under eye and eyeshadow priming that they came out with for Hydro Grip, I haven't really been trusting them that much since. But this is a good product. This one is a better product, and it costs less, so you should just go ahead and get this. And again, shout out to Andrea Montanalo for this. I watched her decluttering her, I think it was her primers, and yeah, I think it was just her primers that she had these two in, and I was like, yes, I'm here for it. So once I saw that she had a dupe for it, I was like, I definitely need to try it. So y'all already saw me try this in the video, and you saw how I felt about it and what I said. So this is just for the people who didn't watch the battle of the in the video to see about these overrated versus underrated products. So this is definitely overrated for the price they're charging, when you can get something like for under $10 that does the same thing and better. So just go ahead and get that. That's why I told y'all, that's why I even talk about it during the Sephora VIB recommendations video, because I was like, I'm gonna tell them about the $6 one, so what's the point? So I got one more set of primers to talk about, and this is another overrated versus underrated. So this is the Glowish by Huda Beauty Primer Blur Jam, the silicone free smoothing primer, and then I have the NYX Professional Makeup Face Freezy Cooling Primer Moisturizer Base. So these are the same thing. They both feel the same way going on. They're both cooling. The only thing is this is high for a drugstore product, but y'all know you can buy NYX from Ulta Beauty, and then you can use the coupon, so that won't make it as high, because this thing is 20 bucks. So I feel like that's high for a drugstore primer. Let's see if they have the same amount of product in them. I'm trying to see. This has 0.87 ounces in it. I guess it's written on the front of here, and this has 1.69 ounces in it. So this one actually has more product in it and costs less, and since they both do the same thing, I guess this one would be the more affordable option, obviously. But you know, if you were curious, I told y'all in this video that I had a video coming up talking about, I told y'all in my Sephora VIB recommendations, I had something coming up to dupe this. So this was it, but I already did a battle. Well, I didn't do a battle, but I did aware to us of this, and I told you all in that video that it was a good alternative for this, and it is. So if you want to try out this product without spending the price for this product, definitely make sure you go grab this because it is way more affordable. Of course, the battery want to start flashing when I'm trying to do a video. It always does this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So next product I have to talk about is a foundation, or a skin tint, if you will. So the next overrated versus underrated is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop blurring skin tint. I have the shade 20, and then I have the shade 20 in this bear with me blurring skin tint from NYX. So this is kind of expensive too. I think this is like 14 bucks, and the Fenty one I don't think it's much more than that. Don't quote me, I don't remember how much I paid for this, but I bought it during the last Fenty Friends and Family sale. Y'all saw I got it for 30% off, so it made it a good bargain for me. I think this is $34. Again, don't quote me, but I actually wore the shade Deep Golden 19, but this was the only shade I could find in store, so I ended up getting this one. But I make it work for me just fine, as y'all saw in the video. I've really been enjoying this. I had this on in the last 2 or 3 videos y'all saw. So when you saw the Milk Cosmetics video, which funny enough I'm wearing that palette on my eyes today, I had this foundation on, and this skin tint on, and it works really nice. The only thing is it's not giving that much coverage. What I like about the NYX one, of course the drugstore one is giving more coverage. I feel like that's where they try to, I guess, up their game. As far as duping the product, they'll give more coverage, because this doesn't give enough coverage in my personal opinion, which is why I didn't buy it when it first came out. Y'all know I'm not really a skin tint BB cream type girl, but I had tried it out and it worked pretty nice, and I wanted to see if it was an alternative for this, and it is. But I actually prefer this because it gives more coverage. I like the way this looks on the skin. It looks amazing on the skin, but without the coverage that I need, it's still falling short personally for me. So that's why I prefer the NYX one. So if I told you to get one, I tell you to get the NYX one. If you do want to try this one, I'm not going to say you're not going to like it. If you're a person that has really nice skin already, then this should be a good alternative for you. If you're a person like me who struggles with dark spots, hyperpigmentation, or just likes more coverage, I feel like you would like the NYX one better. But they essentially both do the same thing. They look nice and blurred on the skin. This one just looks a little bit more skin-like than this one, or it could be just because my color is off by one. I feel like this one looks more skin-like because it's a better match for me. But I don't think you necessarily need to buy this one. If you want to support Fenty and buy it, totally. I'm not saying not to. It's just if you want more coverage, I'm going to easily say go with the next one. So that's why I prefer. And that's just me. So next we're going to get into some blushes, honey. So next overrated versus underrated is this Charlotte's Tilbury Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush Wand. I have the shade, what is this? Dream Pop. And then I have the shade Freza a Daisy in the Alamar Cosmetics Concrete, what is this? Colorate Concrete blushes. Now please keep in mind, this one is more on the dewy, like glowy side, and this one is matte, so that's the only thing to keep in mind with these. But I definitely feel like these are way more pigmented than those. The only thing is you're gonna have to set this one with a powder blush. But I mean, like, I normally do that anyway because I feel like this one just doesn't give enough pigmentation for my liking. Plus it wears off throughout the day, so I still set this one with a powder, which means you get a better deal if you buy this one, because this one's only 20 bucks. We know this is Charlotte Tilbury, so it's 40. Plus this one gives you more product in it than this one. If I remember correctly on the box, yeah, this one gives 0.24 products when the Charlotte Tilbury only gives 0.4 ounces. So you're getting way more with this than with this. So even if you have to buy a powder to put on with this one and make it matte, it's still going to be cheaper than buying this one, and you're getting way less product in this. So I definitely advocate for everybody to go get the Alamar Cosmetics one. I bought mine through in a 30% off sale because the owner turned 30 this year. So I ended up getting like 2 or 3 colors. I've used the purple one, I've used this one. The only one I haven't used is the orange shaded one. That's supposed to be more like the peachy coral vibes. I haven't used it yet, but I would say I really enjoyed these over the Charlotte Tilbury one. And since they're more skin tone friendly, because everybody's more skin tone friendly toward people with deeper skin tones than Charlotte Tilbury, I would definitely say get these. This one is a more liquidy formula though, but it's not like it dries down quickly. You have time to move it around and work with it. P.S. I have bought the ones from Elf, and I will be doing a video on those, comparing all those. So I brought my Charlotte Tilbury shimmery pink gasm blush wand back to try out, and I have a box full of other ones that I have to try out with it. So I have brought all those over here. I'm just waiting for the rest of them to show up so I can do the video on it. That's not what's in here, is it? Okay, no, that's just an empty bag because I brought them with me, so I was trying to make sure I didn't end up taking them back home by accident. But I know they're here because I put them in the bag, so I just need to figure out where I left the bag with them in it. Okay, next, underrated versus overrated. I figured we just get the other Alamar Cosmetics product out the way. So I heard, what's her name, Juicy Jazz, saying that the Alamar Cosmetics lip glosses were a good alternative to the Hourglass Unreal lip glosses. Now, I haven't tried this theory out. I haven't used my Hourglass lip glosses in forever just because y'all know I really try not to rock with Hourglass. It took them how long to come up with this face palettes for everybody, not just, you know, their audience. And it's only because their audience told them that they need to make stuff for everybody, not just them. And then they finally got the point. And Samantha Ravenel led the way for them to, like, you know, actually include everyone. So I really try not to use any of their products when I can, just because I didn't appreciate that whole aspect of it. I wear more than just foundation and concealer. You should probably take that into consideration when you're making these products, because everyone's money is green. Anyway, but I wanted to give you alternatives because she said this was alternative, but I haven't personally tried it myself. That's the point I'm trying to make clear with this. So she said they're similar. I tried to bring two colors that I felt like were somewhat similar. This is the shade Dusk, and this is the shade, what shade do I have? Croqueta? I'm assuming that's how you say it. I don't know. But I am going to swatch both in my hands just so you can see the colors are similar, because these were the ones I felt looked the most similar. To me, this gloss is a little bit sticky. That's just my personal opinion on it, but you know. If I'm, yeah, I was about to say, I remember the ones from Hourglass being smoother. This is the closest shade I had to match this shade though, so I figured I'd bring them so you can see. So just keep in mind that the Alamar Cosmetics one might be a little bit more sticky, but as you can see, the colors are pretty close. Not exact. I feel like the Hourglass one is a tad bit darker than this one, but otherwise, I mean, I feel like they look pretty much the same. So I keep the Alamar one here, so I'm trying to put it back in the corner now while I'm talking to you. But yeah, I feel like they look pretty much the same, and you know, for less, because again, I think Alamar Cosmetics glosses are, they're 20 bucks or they're less than 20 bucks, and y'all know it's Hourglass, so I think this gloss was like 32 bucks, and I bought it during like a Ulta sale or their friends and family sale that they started having, because I guess kind of got rough over there, especially when they're having some $100 eyeshadows or whatever. Y'all can tell I'm just not in the Hourglass vibe at all, so you know, yeah. But moving on, I actually have a perfume dupe or underrated versus overrated situation, so I was excited to talk about it. Now this one is old. I heard about it like a while ago, but I wasn't really making a lot of perfume content at the time. But since I love this brand Kylie, and I figured an alternative for you, I figured I'd talk about it. So next, underrated versus overrated is the Kylie Vanilla 28 perfume. Now this vanilla bourbon from the brand called Mix Bar is a great alternative for it. I mean, they literally smell exactly the same, but just bear in mind that this is one you'll have to reapply. You're not going to smell it all throughout the day the way you would with Kylie, so it doesn't have the lasting power Kylie has. But like for 20 bucks, I feel like it'll work just fine, because this is $19.99 at Target. So if you want a good alternative for Vanilla 28 when it's sold out, I feel like this is a good alternative. Just be prepared to apply again. So as long as you don't mind reapplying, then it's fine. They actually have a body splash just like it too, so if you want to carry a body splash in your purse and reapply throughout the day, and then when you have to go out for the night, just put on this. Its lasting power lasts a good like 3-4 hours, and then you have to reapply. So as long as you're just going out to dinner with friends and then coming back home, it's fine to use this one as opposed to having to get the vanilla 28 from Kylie. But you know, that's just my whole take on it. I of course like my Kylie, but I did buy this as a good alternative to leave my grandmother's house, so that way, you know, when I want the Kylie feel and smell, I can still have it, but not have to leave my Kylie here, because I love my Kylie dearly, and I don't want to have to leave it here when, you know, I like to wear vanilla perfumes quite a bit. I just did a video telling y'all about my top 5 favorite vanilla perfumes, and both those were actually in it because I love vanilla perfume. So the last thing I have to talk about is the eyeshadow palette dupe. I was trying to make sure there wasn't anything else behind me. That's why I keep looking, sorry. So next we have the underrated versus overrated. So I have the, what is it? Paint Me Green and Call Me a Pickle from Sugar Drizzle alongside the Fenty Cosmetica palette. So I feel like everybody raves about the Fenty Cosmetica palette, and this little palette got a little bit of love for a few minutes, but everybody keeps talking about this one. So I wanted to, like, you know, show it a little love for a little moment. So I'll show you what both of them look like on the inside. Now, the Call Me a Pickle doesn't give you as many tones as this one does, because as we can see, this is a 6-pan, it's a 9-pan, but I feel like it gives you similar tones. And it gives you like multi-chromes, it gives you the green mattes, So I feel like they're giving similar vibes. You just don't get those like deeper reddish tone shades, but since it's called Call Me a Pickle, then obviously, you know, it's not gonna have those other tones in it. But if you just wanted a condensed green palette with some nice multi-chromes in it and a couple of green mattes that you could utilize a look with, I would definitely recommend this one. Not to say that this palette is overrated. I think she did a great job with it. I think this is a wonderful brand, and I have every palette they have come out with so far, so clearly I like it. It's just more of, I feel like this little palette doesn't get as much love as it should, so I wanted to include it in this video and show you that it does have similar colors to this one. But those are all the things I had to talk about in today's episode. Wow, it's really short. It's under like, well, technically not, because I forgot I cut off the camera, so it's still about 15 minutes long. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope these underrated versus overrated things were helpful to you. Remember, you all are diamonds. Let me know if you want me to do more perfume dupes, because I've heard of a couple more, but I didn't include them in here because I don't own them yet and haven't personally tried them for myself. So I can do that if you want, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.